Hey folks, Matthew here, doing the, as promised, CitizenCon 2015 post-show. It's a bit later than I would have liked, and probably past the point of relevancy at this point, but nevertheless, I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to do it. I was hoping to bring this to you as a face-to-camera thing, but one of the reasons it was delayed, I couldn't quite get that to work. So instead, you're watching me play Vanduul Swarm in a Super Hornet. As for what I will be talking about while the video plays in the background, I'm going to give you a run through of what we saw, and then discuss my overall feelings on how I think it went, and where I expect we'll go in the future. So, with that in mind, let's get rolling. We started with a letter from Sandy Gardner, the VP of Marketing. She stood up there and talked and gave a very impassioned speech. I was surprised at how moving it was. Evidently it was quite emotional for her, and I admit I started to well up a little myself listening to her speak. It was fun watching the forums afterwards, or watching the comments come up going, is she resigning? Is she resigning? But no, she has reassured everybody that she is not resigning. She is in at least for a while longer. She did make reference to the incident with the escapists and Derek Smart, which I mentioned in my pre-show that I didn't want to see too much about, but given that it was part of the whole story of the highs, the lows of what Sandy was experiencing, I'm happy with that as the extent of the references. So that was the very beginning. I didn't expect that at all, as I mentioned, but once that was finished we went on to a video presentation of how we got to where we are, which is what I expected them to start with, the sort of the Happy Birthday Star Citizen, starting from the very beginning with the reveal at GDC 2012, the Kickstarter campaign, the staff and offices expanding out to where we are now, which is, well, as of now recording, past 1 million backers, which is quite impressive, and almost $100 million in crowdfunding, so it's exploded, is the only word I can describe it with. This is incredible, but, you know, obviously I think it's incredible because I'm making videos about it, so hooray for that. So that was the opening I expected, and it was pretty cool to see how things have progressed. There's almost a near exponential growth in the number of staff and the number of citizens, so where will it end? Only time will tell. Once that was done, we had Star Citizen Alpha 1.3.0 details, which I didn't note down too many of what we saw, but one thing that we did get was reference to that in 1.3.0, the top speed of the ships is calculated dynamically based on what engines you have equipped, which I like and also don't like. I mentioned in my pre-show that I wanted to see more on the revised flight model, which we didn't see in the presentation, but there is a comm-link coming fairly soon, I believe. We should have that information in. But as I mentioned before, personally I think they should go to an acceleration-based calculation rather than a top speed, because at the moment the 350R is the objective best racer because it has the best top speed. That will always be the case if you have a maximum speed cap based on engine size. What they need is cap acceleration based on engine size, and then top speed is so high that you'll never reach it, but that's a topic for another video. Other people may disagree on that's how it works. Maybe I'll do a video on it at some point in the future when I explain the precise details and have some actual data to show you. Easy to argue speculation, not so easy to argue facts. Or argue against facts, rather. So after that we had discussion on Star Citizen Alpha 2.0, also known as the Baby Persistent Universe. Lots of features will be coming in from that. Chris was big on how Alpha 2.0 includes lots of different elements from various other modules. So you've got the social module, you've got the space combat, you've got bits of Star Marine, the first-person shooter module. Star Marine itself wasn't actually mentioned during the presentation, but we have assurances from Ben that it is still coming, so I'm not too bothered by that. More on Baby PU comes up later. Let's see. In my notes here I've got that this is where the IFCS was discussed, including the still top speed. I thought that was with 1.3.0, but I must have been mistaken on that. Let's see. Demo of Crusader. Ah yes, I remember. So after Chris had talked about what we can expect from Alpha 2.0, he showed us a quick demo of the planet Crusader, which is one of the planets in the Stanton system, along with ArcCorp, which is where the social module is based. Crusader Industries is another corporation that owns one of the planets in that system, and is responsible for the Genesis Starliner. I think it's the Genesis, yes, the Genesis Starliner. And he took us around, showed us a few bits and pieces, including taking over another ship, exploring a derelict station, all the sorts of fun things that we can do. One thing that I did notice was that they still use the same interface. They still have that obnoxious use button in the middle of the screen. I really hope they hurry up and fix that, because at the moment it's still... I don't know, to me it feels like it's an alpha, as long as they have that use button. I know they've talked about highlighting what you're going to be using, and I really hope they do that soon, because I'd really like to see that. So, hopefully they'll do that soon, but probably won't be for the first release of Alpha 2.0. They also showed us some repair drones, which were on the station, which allow the ships to be repaired without having to restart the game, but quite what the mechanic is and how many times you can repair a ship is still unknown. I know that in the full game there'll be a wear and tear mechanic, so while you can repair the ship, it will never be up to full factory specs, and over time you'll just have to replace your ship. Or you just keep going and try to make that ship last, you know, sort of Firefly-esque of just hold it together with duct tape and prayer, basically. I'm looking forward to seeing that and seeing what comes out of it. One thing I did know here is that Chris has learned his lesson. He was very cagey about offering actual release dates outside of just soon TM. So, that's good. That was one of the things I wanted to see, is that, no, just don't say when, just tell us, give us, you know, approximate timescales. 1.3 is currently on the PTU, so it shouldn't be long out. A couple of weeks maybe at most. Moving on from the Alpha 2.0 demo, we have the star map, which finally reveals what the Star Citizen universe looks like, how all the planets and systems interconnect with each other via the jump points, what's Vanduul territory, what's UEE territory, what's Shan territory, what's Banu territory, and I love it. It's really well done. You can twist the galaxy around, or part of the galaxy around, and see, okay, this planet is connected to this planet. You can even plot a journey, say, I want to go from Earth to Terra via a small jump point, or I've got a large ship, so I need large jump points, how will I get there? And I'll put a link to it somewhere, and even if you're not a fan of Star Citizen, I recommend you go check it out, just because it looks awesome. There's no other word for it. A few people have spotted a few issues. One thing I'd like to see that I haven't seen on the star map yet is binary star systems, but I'm not too bothered by that. I'm sure they'll add... I know there are binary star systems that exist in the lore. Isn't there also a trinary system somewhere? Maybe. Anyway, well done to Turbulent for that one. Can't wait to see what they add to it. We also got an update from Scitech about the Star Citizen gaming peripherals, mouse, keyboard, joysticks, HOTAS, so forth. And again, looks really cool. Can't wait to see what they do with it. Lots of customization, lots of modularity, much like Star Citizen itself. I'll probably end up picking up possibly a joystick, possibly a HOTAS, depending on how much they are. Yeah, it's a joystick. All it is Star Citizen branded. I could just pick up an ordinary one now, but I liked what I saw, so I'm gonna wait and see. Can't say further than that, really. Next, after the Scitech update, we have the referral program, which is a way of rewarding people for bringing people into Star Citizen. Every citizen has their own code. If a recruit, as is the term, logs in with this code attached to their account, the person who recruited them will get various rewards, some badges, I think a Mark II fish tank, eventually some gold models. And it's a really cool idea. Unfortunately, in my opinion, and the opinion of a few other people on the forums I noticed, it's 2.5 to 3 years too late. Most people who are interested in the game have already recruited their friends who are already likely to be recruited. So people like me who's got somebody into the game, or I read somebody on the forums that a person has recruited 10 people to the game. He gets nothing, I get nothing, and it's a minor point in the long run, I'm not too fussed, but it would be nice if there was just a box on your profile where you can say, I was recruited by this person. And I can't imagine it's that difficult to implement. Well, it's not difficult to implement. I read on the forums on one of the episodes of Reverse the Verse that they're worried about it being abused, but I'll be honest, I can't see how it can be abused any more than the referral system as implemented can be. So I'm not quite sure what they're thinking there, but maybe they've considered options that I haven't, or maybe I'm considering other options and not seeing it properly, I don't know. But as much as I like the referral system, until they implement a way of getting pre-existing citizens to say who they were referred by, for me it's a non-issue because I don't know that many people who would join the game. So, minor issue, good, just late. Anyway, enough ranting about the referral program. Once all that was done, that was great, all good so far. Then the big thing, Squadron 42, which started out by tying into the lore. Just before CitizenCon, there was an in-lore attack on planet Vega 2, which is called Armus, I think? Yes, Armus. The city of New Corvo was devastated. It was attacked by the Vanduul. The UE managed to repel it, and as a result now, the story of Squadron 42 begins. And it started with Admiral Bishop, who is a character in Squadron 42, who is played by none other than Gary Oldman, which, you know, wow, big name actor. And he made a speech to the UE Senate saying, the Vanduul are a threat to us, we need to fight them now. As of this moment we are at war, kind of thing. I wasn't convinced by the speech personally. I get what he was trying to say, but I would have worded it a bit differently. And as worded, the speech didn't work for me, although I got what he was trying to say, and I agree with it in the lore of the Vanduul are a threat. With the Vanduul, it's either we beat them or they destroy us. No issues with Gary Oldman. Taking the speech that he had as read, it was brilliantly executed. We got to see the character pipeline in full swing with facial animation and full motion capture and everything, and I was really impressed with that. So I'm looking forward to seeing him some more in the future of Squadron 42. Mark Hamill's also involved, and Mark Strong. I like both of those as actors. Let's see, what else? Something else that in Squadron 42 that Chris pointed out is that in addition to the main characters, they've also thought about the secondary characters, so maybe characters you don't interact with as much, or characters you interact with a lot but aren't important to the story, and they've thought about what those characters are like, what their motivations are, things like that. So that's good that they're thinking about that, you know. All too often, all the focus is put on the main characters, and the secondary characters are very two-dimensional cutouts, with no real rationale behind their actions, or thoughts behind their actions. So I'm interested to see what they do with that. They did say that the characters in the model sense won't be as sophisticated as the main characters, but that's fair enough. They're less required for cinematics. And we concluded the presentation with a demo of Squadron 42, which showed us the opening. I don't know if it was the opening specifically, but it showed our character landing on a ship, an Idris-class carrier. I forget the name of the ship. One of the existing crew members took us on a tour, gave us some basic rundown of who people are and what they're up to. It was called the Morrow Tour because Morrow was the name of the character. I thought it was good. I need to rewatch it because we were watching it through the presentation, so it was kind of difficult to see all of the subtleties and the nuance. So I'm going to go back at some point in the future and look at it again. But definitely whet my appetite for more. They kept with what I was saying of, if they showed Squadron 42, they don't show too much. They set up with Gary Oldman's speech to the Senate, showed the sort of thing they're hoping to get with the Morrow Tour, but just left it there. They didn't spoil anything, they didn't talk about epic battles through Vanduul territory, which is probable, but not too much on that. And that was where the presentation ended. Overall, I thought it was good. The stream didn't go down for me, maybe it did for other people, but for me, once the stream started, although it started later than expected, went through right to the end with no issues, no hiccups. They managed to sing happy birthday, because you can do that now, because it's been declared public domain. One side note, as a little jovial point, Chris commented that he can't sing. I could hear him during the ending, and no, he really can't. Sorry Chris, but no, he can't sing. So that's it. That's my thoughts on CitizenCon. Overall, it's good. Can't wait to see more. I'm looking forward to 1.3.0. I probably won't do a video on it per se, but I'll definitely be looking forward to seeing how the changes they've made in that filter into existing mechanics. I will probably do a video on the baby PU once that launches, so that's probably the next time you'll hear from me. So until then, I've been Matthew. Thanks again for watching. If you've liked what you've seen and you want to find out more about Star Citizen or Squadron 42, you can do so at robertspaceindustries.com. If you are interested in joining Star Citizen, you might want to consider using my referral code, which is STAR-CZ7R-RBJJ. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, etc. Alternatively, if you like to be updated when I post some more videos, or just have general musings on life and video games in general, please check out my Twitter feed at neo_Venator. Thanks again for watching, and I shall see you around the verse.